to Drinking by My Shelf. My name is Emma and this is my glamorous assistant, RG.
That's me.
His name is actually RG, despite all of you who think it's Archie, it's RG. I'll
Yeah.
spell it on the screen. Anyway, he's here to help me because I am going to an idea that I shamelessly stole from Ella's Novellas, and this is called TBR Suspect. Over the last month, when you see this, I have been solving a crime, restoring justice. Did you know that these are the scales of justice? I didn't know that. I've been using them as my logo for balancing the books. Every single time I've done balancing the books, and they're actually not about balancing, they're the scales of justice. So, throughout the month of August, throughout the month of August, I am going to be solving a murder with the help of my glamorous assistant and with the help, of course, of books. That was a confusing introduction. Shall I explain what I'm talking about?
We started.
As I said, I stole this idea from Ella's Novellas, and I'm actually just going to link to her versions below because hers are great. I'm sure she makes a lot more sense than I do. She does this like recurring every month, and it's really, really cool, and I've completely stolen this from her, so she's the genius. But it looked really fun, so I'm going to do it. So basically, this game is like a game of Cluedo. It involves all of the Cluedo cards, but each card is going to match up to a reading prompt. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
How that's going to work basically is then throughout the month that's coming, I am going to try and read as many of the prompts as I can.
So in May, you're going to read...
I'm going to read as many of the prompts as I can. We will then, you and I, will meet up once more at the end of the month.
I get to see her again.
Did you see how big he yawned?
It's a small yawn.
I'm telling a fascinating story.
It's tiny. It was like, respectful.
At the end of the month, we're going to go through this list, and for every prompt that I successfully read, and there's no doubling up, so these would have to be theoretically 15 different books. I'm not planning to read 15 different books, but they will each be separate. For every prompt that I have read a book for, it's like I flip over that card and you will then reveal.
And should I come up with a clue so that, like, when you read 10 books and you've got some holy stuff, you could still kind of, like, try and surmise?
I have an answer for that.
She's already thought of this.
Yeah. So you're following so far. This is good. I wasn't sure if this made any sense. So,
this very simple game.
It's not simple. Here's what happens at the end. Any blanks that I have left, so say I only have like 4 of the characters and there's 2 left, stop yawning at my story.
That was the smallest, literally the smallest yawn that you could do.
There are little challenges I can complete to get an extra card flipped. So, for example, I've put down a small, let's not get silly here, glass of wine. Post any embarrassing thing that you dare me to do to my Instagram, to unhaul a book from my shelves, to unhaul a book from my TBR trolley, pledge to make an extra video this month, admit something embarrassing on film that I'm not allowed to edit out of the video. Those are the dares I've come up with. Stop yawning!
I'm so sorry.
We're having fun.
It's just like a lot of information.
It is. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, it makes sense.
I want it to be clear. I want the people to understand.
Absolutely.
Okay, so just here are the prompts. A book that my patrons picked, and that book, they already picked it. It is... I've forgotten. I'll look it up. It's The Vanishing Half, that's what it is. The book that I've had on my TBR for the longest. The book that I've hauled the most recently. A book from one of my ongoing video projects. I have so many video projects on the go that you guys don't know about because I haven't finished reading all the books. So one of those books, we were in the prompts. The longest book on my TBR, the shortest book on my TBR, a book that I've borrowed, a book by a black author, a non-fiction book, a queer book, a book by a man, because I never read books by men. And like usually you get prompts that are like, read a book by a woman, but I read like 99% books by women. So, book by a man. A book not originally in English. A book that I'm not sure I'll like, a 5-star prediction, and RG's choice. For that one, I would get you to pick a book from my TBR trolley.
Sweet.
I might even like print out and make Cluedo cards for you to flip over. That'd be cool. Would that be cool? I hate arts and crafts, but let's do it.
If it's anything like the picnic bench.
You guys don't know about the picnic bench.
Some people know.
The people in my secret Patreon society know about the picnic bench. I tried to DIY a picnic bench. It went badly.
It was a roller coaster ride.
It was a roller coaster.
Yeah.
There's video footage, but you have to pay to see it because it's embarrassing.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to put it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I will see you guys at the end of the month when we find out what I read. See you at the end of August. Bye! Hi, it's been a month later! And we're back in the exact same spot. Hey, look at this! You can't see what he's done, but he's arranged all the Cluedo cards really nicely.
I'm very organised.
You are very organised. So, what are we doing? Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to solve a murder. RG has a secret envelope here. Secret. RG has a secret envelope, and in there we have a character, a room, a weapon, and I have to figure out what's in the envelope. You know, like the game of Cluedo. It's how it literally works. But I'm doing that not with my brain, but with books. So I'm going to go through everything I've read and see which cards we turn over. Just so you know, I'm not going to describe or give synopsis or synopses or anything of these books, because in literally 3 days' time I'm going to upload Balancing the Books, which is my monthly wrap-up, and I'm going to describe all these books, and it's literally the same books, because they are the books that I read this month.
They're being wrapped up.
That's being wrapped up. So I'm not going to do it in here because that would be silly. I'm just going to say the names. So let's see how we did with our prompts. The first book, this isn't in the order that I read them, but we're just going to pretend it is. The first book that I read is The Vanishing Half by Brit, Bennett. And this was the book that my Patreons chose for me. That is the prompt I ticked off with that one.
All
so
right.
There's going to be a corresponding card.
There you are.
Okay, we have here Professor Plum. He is innocent. He is not the murderer. Put
Hooray,
him here.
Professor Plum.
Okay.
Way to be.
Then I read The Spy and the Traitor by Ben McIntyre, which was a book I wasn't sure I was going to like. So that's for the prompt, a book you're not sure you're going to like. And I did like it. Spoiler. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We have... Ooh, another suspect. Mrs. Peacock is not guilty of this murder. Well done, Mrs. Peacock.
Her and Professor Plum were getting busy.
Maybe. Okay, I actually have a question, and I don't think I addressed this in the first half of this video that we filmed last month. If I DNF'd a book, I couldn't decide.
Ooh.
Usually you would say, like, that doesn't count then. However, I'm actively trying to get through my TBR. So for me, DNFing a book is a good thing, because you... So do you think that I can tick off a prompt if I read a book for that prompt but DNF'd it? Or is that, like, too much leeway and I don't get that one?
It is a question of leeway because it's a valid argument.
Yeah, because, like, I didn't really achieve that prompt, did I?
You achieved your TBR, but not the prompt.
Here's the specific thing, though. So the next book I'm going to mention is this book called The Mother by Ivette Edwards, which I very sadly DNF'd. I've had this one for a long time. And the prompt for this one was to read a book from one of your ongoing secret video projects. And for the purposes of that secret video project, it doesn't matter if I read it or DNF it. The point is, I can now film that video because I have now read it / DNF'd it.
You've actually gotten out of it what you need to get out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can have it. There's one later on, another DNF, which is for a different prompt, and maybe for that one we'll say it doesn't count. But for this one, I feel like I kind of achieved what I was supposed to achieve.
Well, here you go.
Thank you so much. Oh my god, it's another person! Mrs. White. Mrs. White is innocent. I'm going to have fully solved who the murderer actually was at this rate. The next book I read was The Harpy by Megan Hunter. This was the shortest book on my TBR. It is only under 200 pages. What do I get for that?
Sorry, say that again?
The shortest book on my TBR.
There you go.
Aha! Something new, a spanner. We have our first weapon that is cleared of suspicion. Our man, what's the person called? Mr. Black. Mr. Black was not killed with a spanner. Or Dr. Body, as you Americans call him. Next, I read a 5-star prediction, Trust Exercise by Susan Choi. Spoiler alert, I didn't give it 5 stars. Give me my card.
Fine, here you are.
Ooh, we have a room. This murder was not committed in the dining room. Then I read a book by a man. What's weird is that, you know, I said, like, I picked the prompt read a book by a man because I never read books by men.
Yeah, I put that in the parentheses because I never do.
Because I never do. This month I read so many books by men. Like, comparatively. I think I read, like, 4 books by men. That never happens. Anyway, 5. I think I read 5 books by men. This was one of them, Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. So that's the one I'm going to use for that prompt.
There you go. Worked out for you.
Ah! I got Miss Scarlet. Miss Scarlet is not the lady in question. I was really convinced that you were going to pick Miss Scarlet. I don't know why. Because you said that when you said you were choosing what went in the envelope and you were going to pick your favourite combination.
I don't want her to be a murderer, though.
Yeah, but I just thought you'd pick her.
Who would I want to be a murderer? You could already say that.
It's either Reverend Green or Colonel Mustard. Both good choices.
Who would I want to be
Reverend Green. If you'd pick Reverend Green, you'd want him to be a murderer.
My lips are sealed.
We'll find out. Okay, here was my next DNF. I read half of Sun is Sky by Jada Mabry and really sadly DNF'd it. I was so excited about this book. Anyway, I'm not doing that right now. I'll tell you about it in Balancing the Book. I DNF'd it. It was the longest book on my TBR. It was 434 pages. Not that long, actually. But wait, no, before you give that to me, I DNF'd it. So do I get that one?
No, I really think it makes sense. This is tied to your TBR when it's that prompt.
Yeah.
So when you fulfill just in the same way that however much you needed for that video was appropriate, however much you needed for your TBR was appropriate.
So I read the longest
DNF'd
book.
it.
I DNF'd it.
You weren't going to read it.
Okay.
Ever.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Aha! The murder was not committed in the ballroom.
Shall I make a bet at the beginning? I mean, it's too late. It's not the beginning. But here's my bet at this phase. I wish I'd done this. I wish I'd done this at the beginning. Take a bet on what you would have put in the end.
Yeah.
So I'll be honest. I would have put Miss Scarlet.
Okay. Yep.
I also think you'd put the billiard room in there, but let me just check we didn't already get the billiard. No, we didn't. I thought, from the beginning, I thought you'd put billiard.
Okay.
So I would have guessed Miss Scarlet, billiard room, and I've got no idea what weapon. Candlestick is my bet.
See, that's the one that I've always thought is so brutal.
Yeah.
Like, killing somebody with a candlestick.
Yeah, is hard work.
That's just bludgeoning somebody. That's...
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Well, anyway, that's my bet, but we'll see.
A spanner is less work.
Yeah.
You know?
I then read The Clapback by Elijah Lowell, which I loved. Stop it, Emma. I'm not supposed to be giving spoilers about my thoughts on this book. You'll find out whether I loved or hated this book in Balancing the Books. Spoiler, I loved it.
Hold your breath.
But for this one, this fulfills the prompt, read a book by a black author. Okay. Actually, like, a lot of the books I read this month were by black authors, but that's the one I'm doing for that prompt.
There you go.
Oh my god! I was right. Colonel Mustard did not commit the murder, therefore I know for a fact it was Reverend Green, so that's good. Then I read Pages for You, which fills the prompt of being a queer book.
Okay.
Notice me not saying whether I liked it or didn't like it.
Yeah, very well done.
Look at me growing. This is The Kitchen. See? The Kitchen. I wasn't lying. And finally, I only read one more book. Well, that's not true. Yeah, it is. And that was Misery by Stephen King, which was the book I had hauled most recently. And for that I get, this murder did not take place in the library.
Imagine having a library and a study.
One day I will.
Wouldn't they go together into one, though?
In my dream house, your study's where you do your work. You probably have some books in there. But your library is like, it's like the Beauty and the Beast library. Like, you don't go in there and work. You don't taint it with your work. It has like ladders, bookshelves on the whole walls with ladders that you have to move around to get the books. And like the only thing you would have in there that isn't books is like a super comfortable armchair to sit and read the books, a fireplace. Like it's you just go there to read.
But let's say in Oxford at your master's, going to, what is it, the
Bodleian.
Bodleian? Yeah. You're in the library when you're studying.
That is true, but that's not the kind of library I will have. Because that's a library of academic books. Mine will be a library of fiction.
It's weird, an idea of taking the books and putting them behind a door with no desk in that room.
Here's what you do with books. You read non-fiction. And so for you want to be making notes. You want your study. I read fiction. I want to get away from work.
So it should say fiction library.
Sure. It can be a fiction library. Jesus, see what I have to put up with. Okay, so those were the books I read. So from those alone, we solved the murderer. We know he's Reverend Green. However, we still have 2 options of rooms. And we've got almost all the weapon options. We only know it's not the spanner. So, how many cards is that left? That's 5 cards left.
Yes.
Okay, and I have, you may remember at the start of this video, I set myself some challenges for other ways I can flip over the cards.
Yep.
You probably remember them because it was only a couple minutes ago. I do not because it was a month ago. Down a glass of wine, but as I've written it, down a small. Let's not get silly here.
Is this small?
Yeah.
So I could down that. I could post something embarrassing that you dare me to my Instagram. I can unhaul a book, or even unhaul a book from my TBR. I could pledge to make an extra video this month. Ugh, I'm so tired though. Or I could admit something embarrassing that I'm not allowed to edit out of the video. Okay, well here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start by unhauling a book.
Okay.
From my TBR. I already know what I'm going to unhaul. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'm so sorry, I didn't mess it up.
No, it's fine.
I'm going to unhaul this because, let's be honest, I'm never going to read this. This is a book called Precious You, which I'm still interested in reading, but I picked this up at an HQ event, like, a long time ago, when it was still, like, this advanced. And to be honest, I know it's so shallow, but I just, like, whenever I get given an advanced reader's copy that's, like, this early stages, I never end up reading it because it's just, like, not a comfortable reading experience. It doesn't feel like reading a book. So, and now it's, like, the book is out in the world now, so I'm not going to read this. So, I get to pick a card to flip, and I'm going to flip the room.
Yep.
Oh my god, I was wrong. This is the billiard room. I thought that Archie would pick the billiard room and he didn't. Which means, now can I remember? Oh, you talked about it, you gave it away. You helped. I was worried I wouldn't be able to remember the final card, but it's a study, and I know that because Archie was just banging on about a study. Okay, so we know it's Reverend Green, we know it's in the study, but we're a long way from knowing how he did it. I only know it wasn't a spanner. I still have to flip 4 cards. So, are you ready?
Ooh.
Cheers.
Oh, I wish I could remember the freshers thing.
We like to drink with Emma.
There we go.
Because Emma is our mate. And when
If I
we
was
drink
a better
with Emma,
filming partner.
she gets it down in 8, 7,
6,
5. Yeah, but I did it faster than that.
Yeah. But I wouldn't have started at 8.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, flip a card for me then. We have the dagger. It's not the weapon. I could unhaul a book not from my TBR. That was another challenge. I mean, like, I could unhaul one of these. For example, I'll do this one because I don't want to give spoilers of the others, but I already spoiled this one. I already said that I didn't like it, and so you know I didn't like it, and so I'm going to unhaul it.
Do you keep ones you don't like?
No.
So you were going to get rid of it anyways?
Does that not count?
No.
Okay. We still want to unhaul a book that I love?
Isn't that the point?
I don't know.
What's the point?
I don't know.
Is it to reduce the amount of books that you have in your life?
It is, yeah.
So
Okay. Let me see if
trim the fat.
Let me see if there's anything I can unhaul from my shelf.
Yeah, there's a real proper sacrifice.
But that's hard because I like these books. You just see my bum. Censor out my bum. Oh, you know what? I know what I'm going to get rid of. I'm going to unhaul The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, and I'm genuinely annoyed about it. I didn't like this book, but here's what's annoying. I've read this book twice. So I originally got the book free from NetGalley, read it, didn't like it. This was like 2.5 years ago. Read it, didn't like it. And at that point it was before it came out, so like it hadn't been as hyped up as it then got. I just was like, I didn't like that book, whatever. Move on with my life. But then, even when the hardback came out, nothing big happened. When the paperback came out, it suddenly got so hyped up. Everyone was talking about it, and everyone was raving about it. They were like, it's the best book ever. So at that point, I was like, maybe I misjudged it. Maybe it's actually really good.
Yeah.
So I bought it with my own money. I bought the paperback copy.
And
I didn't like it. It was the same book. I didn't like it. So I kept it.
Imagine that.
Yeah, and like usually I get rid of books I didn't like, but I kept this one because of the fact that I had then bought it with my own money for a second. So like even now I really don't want to get rid of this because I'm like, I'm going to read it again and I will like it. But
No, good.
I'm going to get rid of it. Okay, which means you can flip a card for me.
Yeah, where'd the cards go?
The revolver was not the murder weapon. Still could be the candlestick. Admit something embarrassing that can't be edited out of the video. Why have I never admitted that's embarrassing? I mean, lots of things. That's why I've never admitted them.
Probably never said that when you laugh or jump or sneeze. You pee.
That's true.
That's a little embarrassing.
There you go. Never admitted that, yeah. I don't have the best bladder control. It's not every time I laugh. Okay, which means I get to flip a card.
Yes, well done.
Drop my phone. Oh my god, I was wrong on all counts.
All counts.
I don't know you at all.
Nope, you don't know who I want to kill with what Where?
I don't. But it's not a candlestick.
Yeah, I wasn't putting on just like a phony thing about the bludgeoning.
I knew you weren't like you instinctively wrinkled your nose, and I didn't think you were faking that. So we've got one more left. It could be the rope, and it could be the lead piping. Okay, well, I want you to dare me to post something to my Instagram.
Maybe like an attempt of you trying to do a handstand? Or something?
Yeah.
Or...
That's hard. That is embarrassing. Go on then.
How do you do it? Wait, how do I get...
One more. So, instead of trying to do it all in one, act like you're running track at the starting line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like that. And then kick yourself up and over.
Am I gonna hit my head and hurt it?
I don't know. Let's see. Well, it's probably for the best. There's a lot of sharp edges around here.
Push my legs up?
No, this is exactly the embarrassing thing I wanted to.
What about if I do this? Hang on.
This isn't about you
Okay.
getting up. One more.
Well, I'm glad the world's seeing that. And that was it, I got the lead piping! It was not the lead piping, which means it was the rope. So in this envelope, I think I'm going to find Reverend Green with the rope in the study. Reverend Green with the rope in the study. I solved a murder! With my bookshelf.
Dirty Reverend.
I did it. Well, thank you so much to my glamorous assistant for helping me solve a murder. The town is safe now because we're here, crime-fighting duo. And if you want to know what I thought of those books, the few that I managed not to tell you about, tune in 3 days for Balancing the Books, and I'll tell you all about them then. For now, goodbye!
Goodbye.
Say bye in my voice.
Bye. Bye.
I'll do your voice, you do my voice.
Bye.
And you go...
Bye.
Bye. Bye. I think you go, bye.
Bye.
Bye, I'm RG. I'm RG Bartley. Bye, I'm RG Bartley.
Are you back to being American now?
The point is, goodbye.